Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you about a simple application where I'll be showing you how I am going to connect the Python as a backend and AngularJS as a front end. And I'm not going to show you about the database and all. This is very simple app just to understand how the application, web application flow actually works. I don't discuss much on the theoretical part. I'll be just sharing you the code in the GitHub, as well as I'm just going to explain you the code to make you to understand how actually the front end part communicate with the back end part, fetches the data and get backs to the front end, and it displays. And the application which I'm showing is, as I told you, it's a simple app. Even you can achieve that by only by the front end, but still I wanted to show you how actually the data passes between the front end back end. To show that, I'm showing this app. So let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, I'm using the IDE called Sublime, and I'm using the JavaScript library called AngularJS, which is, nowadays people are using it more for the front end application. Though now it is already a generation of AngularJS 4, AngularJS 2 and 4, but I'm using AngularJS 1.5 just to make you understand about the front end code. So all this static file is actually an AngularJS content, AngularJS files. So if you see, I have designed it like MVC, in the MVC architecture, what we generally call as model view controller architecture. This is views and this is the styles. So AngularJS app starts with the app.js file. So this is the app.js file, and so every application starts, the index file is the main file to start or the entrance of your application. So I'll show you the index.py, where I have used doc type HTML, where it basically says I'm using HTML5. So this shows that I'm using the HTML5. So in order to start the AngularJS app, I have to define like ng app is equal to first app, and these are all the character set we generally use for the browser compatibility purpose, or for the searching purpose, for SEO purpose, and for the responsive purpose we use this meta tags. We have a title where basically the title, I'll show you where the title actually comes. So I had one more screen, just a second. Video capture, window capture. I want to search in Chrome. So I am going to show you the Chrome. Okay. So if you see here, if you see here, this is the title. That is what it defines title. And so these are all the style sheet. I'm using the bootstrap.css. Bootstrap is basically, it's an CSS framework where you will get a lot of ready styles which are available. You just need to call that classes or IDs. And main.css, which I have referred here, is it is my own CSS which I have written to design this application. And jQuery, which is a library of JavaScript, I have downloaded this and added. See, all these things I've added in an app file. So you can see app js jQuery.js. If you see here, here also, if you see, so this is jQuery library which I've added. So app under the slash js slash jQuery.js. So this is the jQuery I'm plugging in, and AngularJS mini. This is the AngularJS I'm calling. This is the AngularJS I'm calling, and the index file is here. So I'm coming out of this index file by dot dot slash, and I'm getting inside app. Inside that I have app folder, I have JS folder. Inside that I have this AngularJS mini and jQuery and AngularJS router. So, and the next is app.js. This is the main JS file. And I have the controllers and services. This is where I have kept the controller. This is my controller, and I have services like this. This is my service. Okay, and what else you need? Okay, and okay, this is a ed part. When it comes to an body, I am using, see, this is the bootstrap class, and the title bar is my CSS class, where I'm actually overriding the bootstrap class. And this is the tag text. If you see my web application, see, welcome to the word count is there. No, this is the p tag, and here I'm using the routing part, where I'll show you the routing part. This is the app.js file. So this is the app name. If you see here, index here, this is the first app. So I'm just adding that in the angular.module first app, and I'm including the dependencies. I am using ng route, and I have one controller and one services which I have written. I am importing that. See, and this is how the ng route, I mean route provider, we do. So basically I have written a suppose when URL is slash, or other than the slash also, you just need to go and fetch the data whichever is there from the main.html. So this is my template. So I can show you main.html. So this is my main.html, where I have written a simple form. So the form is completely written with the help of Bootstrap and the AngularJS code. So the form, basically the function whatever is written is just to count the number of words whichever you are going to write. Okay, so see, this is a form. You are defining the form. This is the enter your words, and this is where I am defining the text area. So ng model text data dot text enter. So where you basically send your text data to so if you see the main controller.html, so this is the controller of this file. So this is defined here. See, suppose if something slash, for this template, this is the controller. That is what this app.js tells to the file, to the main.html. So main.html have the controls over here. So I have a text area, and I want the text data. See, here I have defined the text data as an object. So So text data dot text enter is an object, the property of an object, where if you enter anything inside this, since AngularJS is a two-way data binding, so that is going to be reflected in the JavaScript file, JavaScript data. I mean, in the object, JavaScript object. So here I am submitting. So this is ng disabled. Basically, when you say this is to check the conditions. So if the form is invalid, I am disabling the button. Once the form becomes the valid, then only I am submitting it. So, and this is the search function. Once you get the respond, so I am doing the search your words. So I'll first show you the application, how it works. See here. So in order to run this application, I'll show you how do I run this, so that okay. So then I'll explain you as this bottle framework and the code of the Python's code as well. So now I'll show you Python. I have to activate the virtual environment as well. So dir, I have things.py is the file, Python. So since okay, I'll also install the requirement.txt. Okay, we world test is the environment which I am creating. So this is how basically you create your virtual environment. As you can refer my previous sessions, I have shown you what is virtual environment, how you have to create the virtual environment, what is virtual wrapper and all. So it's just a continued part of that. And I have also showed you how you have to create the requirement.txt and how to install the requirement.txt as well. Okay, once the virtual environment was created, I'll tell pip instll install r requirement.txt. So this will install what all the things required for your Python project which I have done. No worries, I have shared all the codes in the GitHub. I'll share the link in the below. You can just access that. So if you do python things.py and if you say localhost, so see, previously I am running a different port, now I am running in the 8080 port. So if you want to run only the front end, you need like for the development you need XAMPP, WAMP or something like that. When you are deploying the static files in your Python code, then you just need to run your Python code, then it runs the static files as well. So I'll open the Chrome and I'll say localhost 8080 C. Okay, this is how it runs, and the word is like Arish is making this video, and Arish is make this video. So what it basically does is it counts the number of times the words repeated. See, Arish I have repeated 2 times, video has repeated 2 times, and make has repeated 2 times, and is only once, and this is 2 times. So and also you have like and filtering option as well is available in this. filtering option is also available in this. So this is what the actual application I'm trying to show you. Okay. So the things which are all I have explained till now is all these are the front end part. Okay. So and see, this is the search part, where you type like which word you want to search and it filters, right? That is the search part, and this that is the search part, and this is the response part, where the when you filter some word, only that word comes on the screen, right? This is the filter part. This is where the table, you can just have a look on in the GitHub on this code, and you can analyze. So this is all about the main.html. So I'll show you what is the main controller. It says like I have a scope $scope.test data, where it takes that object, and I have written a method called called accept text, and it takes the argument. So once it takes the argument, then I'm just sending this to the services. That argument I'm sending this to the factory. So app factory is the factory which I have written. So that is, I mean, in the services file itself I have written the factory. You can see this is the app factory which I have written, and I have imported a $HTTP as a dependency. So and since the factory, the rules to write the factory, it should have a return, and it should defined as an API, or it should define with an variable. So that variable you have to return. So for I'm just taking that object and adding the property. I am sending the data, and I am doing the Ajax call. So this is a complete web part. So then this I'll show you the backend code now. See, I have used bottle framework of the Python. This is a very simple framework. For the prototypes and all, we use this framework. It is if you can develop the application very fastly using the bottle. So that's the reason I have used the bottle framework. And this is called the decorators, and this is how the function we will write. So once see, this is how the static files we call. This static files is whatever your AngularJS code. So the first thing whatever I have written is, when the decorator says, when the slash, when a URL enter with the slash, it comes to the static files, it retrieves the index.html which is in the static files. So then the rest of the things are, see, then I have written the count words. If you see the services file, see here the count words I am calling. So I am posting the count words, I am posting some data. So this posts here. This is how the routing works. I'll explain you about the bottle in the later classes. So just to give you hint how this works, I am showing this. So and this router will contain whatever data will be posted. This method will contain. So I'll check whether it is a post method or not. If the post method, then I'll load the body, request body, and reads the data and splits those data. See, the data how I am sending is also, I'll show you the way how I am sending the data. If you see the services file.js, see, I am sending in a object data of data. So that is why I am taking the data here. So here also it comes like the data. I'm as a key. Based on that key, I am taking the data, and I'm calling some method set return. So this method I am calling. So this is the method which basically says like it splits the word and it counts the number of word it has repeated. So once it is once you get that word, I'll be sending that word to set return. So set data is basically it splits the data and counts number of data it is repeated. So basically so this function will return you like the suppose the word the number of times it is written. So actually for the front end, how I need is for this project like tag the word name and then count the number of times it is counted. So that is the way, that is the reason I have written set return. So this returns like I have defined an empty list. So for this list I am sending like tag and the value, the what are the value it is count. So I am adding the key for each I am adding the key and the value for the returned for the splitted data, and I am just dumping it back to the I'm just returning it I'm just returning those data. This is where I am returning. So if you can also check in the browser, you can also check in the browser. So I'll be opening one more tab and I'll show you. So yeah, you can't open it in the browser because you need to post the data. So for that you need to use a postman. About using of the postman I'll show you in the later sessions. So you need to post the data and you'll get the return in the JSON format on your browser. So these two are just to load your static content. So I have written this to return all the CSS files and the JavaScript files, since I am running the static content from the backend itself. So it depends on the frameworks. So whichever framework you are going to use, based on that the static content, loading of the static file content depends where you need to store or how you need to call. All those things you will be able to see in the framework which you are going to use. For the bottle, this is how it is used and it is simple. So I have also, like, if something like error comes, if 404 error comes, it returns sorry, this page does not exist. So this is all how the framework works. You need to know about the framework to know how this decorator works. When you get 400 error, how it calls. This is all you need to know from the framework side. So and run, this is also a framework side where I am basically saying host is equal to localhost and port is here, where I have defined the port number as well. So I hope I have explained you the complete set how actually the application works. So once this response, so this gets some response, and that response I am handling it here in the main controller. See, this is the scope dot respond is equal to respond data. That data I am going to get here. So if error persists, this is going to execute. If error not persist, this is going to exist. See, I have declared a variable called respond. I am using that in the main.html. See, ng show respond. So if some respond comes, then you will get the list of words, as well as you will get the search bar, and you will get the search bar. So this is a table where you will get the list of words whichever is returned from the this variable. So this is the data came from the services. This is the variable I am using in the main.html, and I am iterating through it, and I am based on the key, based on the requirement, I am just filtering the data and displaying you this data. So if you see the overall application, so this is how it works. I'll show you once again. So this is the application. When you enter the localhost 8080, this is how the first screen comes, and I'm basically trying to show the number of words repeated in the text you have written. Arish is a good boy, did is engineer in GMIT engineer Davangere. So Davangere is a PLAC place where you will get masala dosa. Okay, I don't know how many times the words are repeated. Now I'll just press the submit and see. Is repeated 2 times, and I want to filter only is. See, is, where all is there, it shows. So this is the complete application. Hope you guys understand the application process, how it works. I'll be explaining in depth in the later sessions. Meanwhile, I'll be sharing you the my GitHub and GitHub account, I mean GitHub file details, where you can see all these codes, and I've also deployed this in the website, sorry, in the server. You can also, in the later session I'll be showing you how you can deploy this code in the servers as well. So I'll be also sharing you the website URL where I have deployed this code. You can have a look and try this example. So yeah, that's all for the GitHub and the website URL. You can see in the see more below. I'll be sharing that in that part. Thank you all. Have a great day.